everyone, I'm Mercedes.
And I'm Bren.
And I am a journalism student.
And I'm an RTA media production student.
Today we're going to be talking about some of the differences between the journalism program and the RTA program here at Ryerson. I know when I was applying, it was super confusing to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I literally thought the programs were like the same thing, just with a different name. So for that reason, I spent a lot of time deciding between the two programs and struggling with what program would be best for me.
It's true, because at a time in your life when you're trying to pick university programs and what you want to do, it's hard to know. So today we really want to break down what's involved with each, how we've sort of felt about our own programs, and how it might help you.
Yeah, so here are some of the differences between journalism and RTA. Okay, so first we're going to be talking about some of the academic differences when it comes to courses.
For sure.
So I know for me in journalism, we have a lot of elective options. Pretty much you only take 2 to 3 mandatory courses per year, and the rest are elective. So we have a really large variety when it comes to getting basically any minor or multiple minors that you want. So for example, like I'm taking an English minor right now. I have friends who are taking political science minors, criminology minors, even like theater and dance. Like there's so many things that you can do. And honestly, as the years go on, you actually only get to take more and more elective classes. So it's definitely a little bit more flexible when it comes to really specializing your degree.
So on the opposite hand of that, RTA is very mandatory based. So I'm only in my first year now, but my first semester I was only allowed 1 elective. And now in second semester, I have all mandatory courses. Now, they are really important. They're fundamentals, like how to use cameras in different scenarios, whether it's media theory, media history, all these kind of fundamental building blocks of what it means to be an RTA. But there's not a lot of room to kind of pick what you want to do in first year. As the program progresses, you get more and more flexibility, more freedom, but especially for that first year, you really have to kind of get your fundamentals in, initiate yourself into RTA, I guess, as they say.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is the difference when it comes to what we actually learn about in our academic classes. So for journalism, as I'm sure that you can probably anticipate, it's all about the news. It's all about facts. It's all about telling real people's real stories. There are some creative writing elements, of course. If you're writing, there's always an element of yourself in it, but at the end of the day, what we care about is truth and fact checking and bias checking and things like that. So it's almost like, making nonfiction into a really cool movie. That's how I like to describe it.
Sounds good. So in this way, RTA kind of works in opposition, because while we do have moments where we involve ourselves in news stories and true events, we often delve more into fiction. And what I mean by that is we're telling stories that are not necessarily true, but have an emotional impact for our audience and are relatable in some ways. So we're pulling elements from true stories, from true events, and sort of combining them in a way that's meaningful, so that we can tell stories that can relate to our audience and to ourselves as creators. We have segments where we actually delve into a little bit of journalism, which is kind of fun, but it's only like a 2 to 3 week sort of crash course in it, nothing too in-depth. So next up, we're going to talk a little bit about the skills we learn in both of our programs. Now, RTA is a very technical program in the sense that we're learning a lot about the production that goes on behind movies and popular mass media. So if you do choose to go with this program, it really allows you to specialize in audio creation, content creation of all kinds, and shows you really the behind the scenes of what's going on, not necessarily being in front of the camera, but learning how all aspects of the camera are operated and sort of used to create the media itself.
So I feel like when it comes to the skills that we learn in journalism, it mostly comes down to our writing skill.
Sure.
And no matter what you do in journalism, whether you are doing radio or broadcast or magazine writing or literally anything, if you're making like Snapchat stories of the news, you always have to be a good writer at the start of things. So if that's your passion, if you love to write, if you love to blog, if you love to read the news, journalism is definitely for you. If you're a writer, this is your program. We don't focus actually so much on the production side. We definitely do get those baseline skills, and we have a lot of opportunities to learn about different cameras and audio techniques and different software. We definitely have all of those things available to us, but it's not as much of a focus. We more so focus on telling the story. Okay, so while RTA and journalism are definitely different programs with different focuses, there are actually a lot of similarities and crossovers between the programs.
Yeah, I would say that in many ways, we're working different jobs, but at the end of the day, whether you're working in journalism, whether you're working in media, we all are kind of tied into one sort of, not the same job, but the same job market, right? And so at the end of the day, the important thing to remember is that we're all going to be working together. Whether you're like an audio technician, whether you're a writer for a news broadcast, we're all part of this same sort of working machine that is media. And so I think it's important to remember that these programs really complement each other. Coming into RTA, I always thought that my program was about making camera operators and making people that shoot video. You can really do a million different things, all involved in that media industry, not just shoot videos.
And once you figure out, I think, what you're passionate about, you take one class and you're like, I need to do radio for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
It totally becomes clear to you. So yeah, I definitely think that as much as the programs are very specific in their own ways, there's also so much flexibility when it comes to career paths and opportunities, both outside and after you graduate from the programs.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Okay, so now we get into the big question that everybody wants to know. What program should I choose? So this is just from our perspective. I'm in second year, Bren's in first year. We definitely don't know absolutely everything about the programs. This is just our experiences thus far. But at least for me, I think that you should go into journalism if A, you love writing, B, you love news and fact-checking and keeping up with politics or celebrities or anything that's happening in the real world. C, if you maybe want to go into TV reporting or even something like BuzzFeed or HuffPost or those type of online mediums. And D, honestly, if you just love to get out there and take a risk. It's just a world where you actually have no clue what's going to happen next. Mm-hmm. So I think that if you are a risk taker, if you love adventure, journalism is for you.
For sure. Now, I would say RTA is for you if you love telling stories. That's the bottom line. Whether you're creating a fictitious story, whether you're telling a true story, you have to have that love for wanting to tell not just your own, but everyone's story. I would also say RTA is for you if you want to know more about how the media you consume is created. Whether you're looking at a Snapchat story, whether you're watching one of your favorite films, if you're wondering in the back of your mind, I wonder how they got that shot. How did he jump off that building and catch how did that happen, right? If you're wondering those questions, then RTA is definitely for you.
And don't forget, I know I already said this earlier, but once you decide on a program, once you're accepted into a program, that is not the end-all be-all. At the end of the day, you can always switch. Ryerson's a really big school with a ton of programs. Maybe neither of these are right for you. Maybe you'll go in and be like, whoa, I was not ready for all this production equipment. But both of them totally have their different benefits and difficulties, but at the end of the day, we're all working together in one big happy media family.
Exactly. And the nice thing is too that even if you choose one program and you're still not sure, I'm sure you will make friends in both, and that way you can sort of compare notes, see what's going on in which. If you're a media person, if you're a creator, you're good. You just need to find which exactly works for you. And the best way to do that is by connecting with people like us, people that are in the programs already, and reaching out, asking them what questions you need to figure out what's going to be right for you.
Absolutely. And also, one last thing, I really encourage everyone to really take their time when it comes to completing their degrees. I know that it's kind of traditional to finish a program in 4 years, but I find more and more that people are taking time off. They're taking semesters off, or they're spreading out their courses more over many years. To be honest, there's no rush to graduate in 4 years. We're all gonna walk out into the world fresh-faced when we graduate, so take the time that you need to figure out what program is right for you, because university is a super crucial time in your life, and it's a really huge decision. I know that we both had to make it, and it was really rough, but I think we're pretty happy with how things turned out.
Exactly.
So
at the end of the day, if you're creating and you're having fun, you're doing well.
Exactly. All right, I think that's everything from us.
Yeah.
If you have any more questions about journalism or RTA, you can ask one of us or any of our student ambassadors on @Ryerson on any of our platforms. So Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. We actually now have TikTok, so hit us up on TikTok, as well as Instagram. If you have other questions related to admissions, we encourage you to contact the Service Hub or visit ask.ryerson.ca to find all the answers to all your questions.
Wonderful. And thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And best of luck on your applications. And see you here.
We can't wait to see you at Ryerson. Stay
Stay
sweet.
sweet.
We'll see you in the next video. 3, 2, 1. Stay sweet.
No.
One more time.
Okay.
3,